Maximizing the color of your red varieties of apples at harvest is a must if you're trying to grow quality fruit and achieve the highest value when selling your apples. Let's get started. Let's briefly address some of the other major factors that can contribute to more or less apple color at harvest that can often be grossly overlooked. Now, in this third video in the series about maximizing apple color, I will be talking about how temperature can play a large role close to harvest, and how to use crop load management as a way to increase color, and one little pest that can destroy your apple size and color if left unchecked. Now, there are some things that are out of your control, such as the weather, but quite simply, most red apple varieties require cooler nights in the weeks before they mature to have a higher amount of red color. If you are located in a part of the world where temperatures stay warm at night, even through harvest, having a higher amount of color is going to be more difficult, regardless of what you do. Now, one option is to try to artificially lower temperatures, and that is to turn on overhead irrigation sprinklers at night. This is shown to sometimes be of a slight benefit, but it will still never come close to the naturally much cooler evening temperatures that can sometimes happen. Mites can devastate your color and fruit size, regardless of how beautiful your summer pruning may be. Mites can often literally be overlooked since they are microscopic in size and don't have an immediate effect that is visual on the trees or fruit. But don't be fooled. These little mini mites can do a massive amount of damage to your trees and fly under the radar until it's too late to salvage the crop. Even if you use every possible method to increase your fruit quality and color that has been described in the previous videos, an untreated mite infestation in your orchard can wipe out every good thing you have done and make the crop much worse than if you'd done nothing. Bad mites literally suck the juice out of your leaves or solar panels to the point where they can immobilize the tree. If left unchecked, a mite infestation will drastically reduce the size of your fruit and also will prevent your apples from turning their usual red color. Now, even if you only have a partial infestation that cannot be seen with the naked eye, your fruit will be smaller and a poorer color red. But worst of all, you may never realize why your fruit is substandard and just chalk it up to a bad crop year. I cannot stress enough that you should be getting a proper professional mite count done multiple times during the summer so you will not end up with a catastrophe on your hands. For the small amount of money that you may spend on getting a handle on your mite numbers, it is one of the cheapest insurance policies you may ever get on your farm. Time and time again, I have seen tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars go down the drain because of these little critters. And the worst part is that many of the growers still didn't really understand why their crop was so poor. Again, don't be fooled, get proper mite counts. Now, excessive crop loads have a much bigger effect than many growers realize on the ability of the tree to properly color up the apples at harvest. This is another often overlooked factor on tree fruit color development. Of course, you will want to aim for high yields of fruit on your apple blocks, but there is an amount that is too high. Now, keep in mind that there are many factors on what the other particular thresholds are for crop load on each tree or block of fruit. But just be aware that if you push the crop loads too hard, your fruit will more than likely have less red color at harvest. Now, tree spacing and height can also drastically affect the color of the fruit at harvest. The tighter your trees are spaced and the higher that you let them go, the more shading will occur. As we talked about before, summer pruning is the most effective because it increases the amount of sunlight on the fruit, but it is not going to be nearly as effective if you have extremely high trees or they are too close together because of the natural shading. The trick is to maximize your height and spacing with all things considered, but also be aware of the negative effects of what is too high or too close. Spacing your fruit out properly when you are hand thinning your fruit also can have a massive effect on how much color your fruit will have at harvest. Now, unless absolutely necessary, do not leave two pieces of fruit together or too close to each other. Refer to the Apple Thinning Like a Pro video series on YouTube if you want to hone your skills on apple thinning. Lastly, there are some other benefits of summer pruning that we haven't mentioned yet. Summer pruning can actually increase airflow, which can decrease the humidity and mildew issues. Summer pruning can also help with high vigor blocks that are hard to get under control and speeds up the picking of fruit at harvest. since the fruit will be more uniform in maturity and easier to see for the pickers. Using various methods to maximize your apple's color at harvest can certainly take extra time and expense, but the extra value that is achieved is often worth the time and effort. There are many steps that a professional grower will take to grow superior fruit, but getting the quality and color that the marketplace wants will enable the grower to demand a much higher price. Now, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and be sure to visit many of our other Ambrosia Like a Pro videos, like apple thinning like a pro, apple picking like a pro, apple pruning like a pro, maturity testing like a pro, and the white reflective tarps video as well. I'm your host, Steve Brown, and until next time, happy farming.